I'm live. I just left out the club with the gang and a high yellow bitch that's real thick in the thighs. You know me, I be shooting my shot. When I got the little bitch, I wasn't even surprised. In the club, looked her deep in the eyes, said you coming with me, if you with it, let's ride. Got a text when you coming inside out the liquor, didn't know what to say, so I lied. I text back like I'm late at the stew, trying to cook something new, it's just me and the guy. She texts, I ain't even reply. Then I rolled up a wood while I gripped on the thigh, start to kiss on the neck, know this bitch feeling high. Ain't gon' lie, shit up pussy and head kinda fire. Ended at a hotel somewhere out 35. Took a good and rolled over, said wake me at 5. Gotta piss, I wake up, man, it's 6:39. Out of time, now I'm on the highway and I'm flying. Look at my phone's not a soul on my line. Now I'm deep in my thoughts, I'm just knowing she crying. I'm tripping, I'm trying to straight out all the lies. Cause I know if I slip, it's gon' damage our ties. I done did it before, I can't do all this crying.
It's 2 a.m. just getting in, about to check my message. No one is called, but my homies and some bill collectors. Cellular, ring somebody wants to borrow money. I 2 a.m. me back some.
She gon' next where I was, I'ma answer what time. Where was you around 3? I think I was outside. But you told me to stew, we got there at like 5, but it's 7. Shit, Dion had asked for a ride. Now I got it together, I pull up outside, there's 3 cars in this lot and one of them ain't mine. Now I'm clutching, I unlock the door, creep aside, I hear thumping upstairs, so I cock the bitch quiet. Hit the top of the stairs, think I hear my girl crying. Now I'm thinking shit, I kick the door and kill everything in it except for what's mine. I don't know, but now I'm at the door and she screaming, go deeper, he tell her be quiet. I walk in, tell the bitch that she wild, tell the nigga he moved and it's bound to go down. Tell them both to shut up and don't even make a sound. She say, but I say shut the fuck up and lay down. Next person move, I'ma let off a round. Now I'm pacing, I'm trying to see how I'm getting down. If I kill them both, then that make me a clown. Mama told me don't trust them, but look at me now. 1 in the chamber, 2 faced on the ground. Got me like, should I leave or just burn this bitch down? I wake up, it's a dream, I'm outside of my house.
It's 2 a.m. just getting in, about to check my message. No one is called, but my homies and some bill collectors.
Just this morning, I was telling another beautiful young woman that I'm not a rapist. So you can see, I said I'm not a rapist. I have to do this twice in one day? Not a rapist, not negative. Women, woohoo, woohoo, my period.
What's up, guys? Anyway.
What's up, guys? How are we doing this evening? How's everyone in chat doing? What's up, Sammy's mom? What's up, Serene Sky? What's up, Killing Joke? What's up, Ignatius? What's up, everyone in chat who I didn't say hi to? I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. What's up, Melissa? How are you? We're here for some more Machete Bowl. What's up, PTC? How are you doing? We're here for some more Machete Bowl nonsense. We're gonna watch some, Cobes talking about being woke while being drunk. What's up, Senate? How are you? And then Adrasdea. Drastia came back after her big video saying she's done forever, guys. So, we're just gonna go right into it. What's up, Kate? How are you? Oh, sorry, Kate. Kat. What's up, Kat? How are you? Yeah, so we're just gonna go into it with the videos from yesterday with Cobes. We're gonna start with Cobes. He did some stupid videos that are not important, but we're gonna watch those really quick to pad some time. Can you say my name again, Steve? It really makes my scrotum tingly. Okay. How are you doing, Ignatius Picklesworth III? I hope you're having a wonderful night. Hey, what's up, Isaiah? How are you? What's up, Serene? I hope you're clothes today, Serene. But anyways, we're gonna start with his videos from yesterday, starting with King Cobra's beer review. What's up, Chaco? How are you?
What's up, YouTube? It's King Cobra.
And I sent these through my dead air cutter outer, so they're shorter than they are, as they always are, guys. So let's check it out.
I got it with another video. Rocking a Slayer t-shirt.
I'm sorry. How could we start the show without the daily scrotum update from Victor? Scrotum got stuck in the dishwasher. Well, that's unfortunate, Victor, but I hope you get that taken care of. I hope the Maytag repairman can help you out. What's up, Bonefist? How are you?
A YouTube fan of mine went to the Slayer concert.
Yes,
and they
yes
bought
it is.
me a t-shirt and sent it to my P.O. box.
The Slayer t-shirt. Now, be prepared for him to be wearing this Slayer t-shirt, or this t-shirt, for the next several weeks.
I'm rocking it. Appreciate you. So I just got done having Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and it was a pleasant experience. There was no fighting, no drama.
What did you not go, Josh?
I wasn't a drunk asshole. I had 2 drinks at family dinner and kept it to a 2-drink minimum. I had 1 beer and a glass of pink champagne.
Why did you have pink champagne? Did you bring a bottle of pink champagne to Clint's Thanksgiving thinking you were being classy? Of course you did. Of course you did. You're ridiculous, Josh.
I didn't get blackout drunk or stupid wasted before going to see my family, so yeah. We had prime rib and biscuits and mashed taters, good supper, and then we played Kismet. Overall, I enjoyed my family's company. It was nice seeing them, and there was no drama. It was just love and positivity.
I like how this was titled Beer Review, and he's talking about his family, and he didn't get drunk. Meanwhile, here's my beer review. What's up, Dimples? How are you?
So I tried to order me some Samuel Smith organic chocolate stout, but they're out of the chocolate flavor, so this is what I got as a replacement. They're like, well, the bad news is they're out of the chocolate. Here's the good news. I ordered a 4-pack, and then they gave me 4 extra for the price I paid, so I was like, that's cool. Yeah.
That just means the other one was cheaper. I don't think he understands anything. They didn't do that because it was like, here you go, you're such a good guy. We're going to give you this thing because we couldn't give you the one he's an idiot. What's up, Dysentery? How are you? Idiot. Oatmeal stout, by the way, is gross. All this shit is fucking gross. You know, if you were in a drunk loser, you could just go buy your own beer and pick out the one you want instead of having DoorDash swap it out.
And I brought a 4-pack over to my family's house and a bottle of Cobes Sweet Rose.
There you go. He did bring it. I called it. He brought the pink champagne over. He thought it was classy.
I love my pink champagne, man. That shit is delicious. And like I said, I only had like 2 drinks at dinner. I didn't feel the need to get like super wasted.
Yeah, not till you got home. I didn't drink at all at Thanksgiving. I had water.
I'm enjoying my family's company, you know, just how I feel about it. So I got 2 4-packs of this oatmeal beer, and
He probably was. They opened it up just to be nice to him, and he's like, "Of course I want a glass of it." And then they just threw it out after he left. They was like, "Does anyone want this shit?" No one wants this shitty rose champagne.
I've already drinking 2 of them, 1 out of each pack, so I'm going to open it up. It's not a twist top, but I want to show you a trick. In my hands, I hold
It's a twist top. Let me show you a trick. Why do you need a trick? You just said it was a twist top. What a moron.
Lighter. Now, what I want to do is I want to open the beer with a lighter. This is a really awesome party trick. If you ain't got a bottle opener, this will fucking get the job done, man. For in a twist top, you want to take your thumb, place it right there nice and tight, and then wrap your finger around the lid just like that. Then you want to take your lighter.
I'm actually in awe. That's why I'm not saying anything. I'm actually in awe that he just learned this. He obviously just learned it because he's telling us to us like it's a trick he's teaching anyone. I'm shocked that a 30-something-year-old alcoholic who's been smoking this entire time since he was like 16 years old, so he's always had a lighter on him, always had a beer with him, clearly just today learned how to open a beer with a lighter. I'm actually in shock. Like he wouldn't be telling us this if he didn't just learn it like today or the day before. So clearly he somehow hasn't learned this until recently, and that's why he's telling us now. It's amazing. It's amazing. I learned that when I was 18 years old, before I could even buy beer.
The bottom of it and put it underneath the lid.
That's true. That is true.
The lid, just
that
like
is
that.
True.
Squeeze it tight, and then you want to use your pressure and just like that, push up.
And also, it doesn't work nearly as well with a twist off. It works like not as well at all with a twist off because there's like the threads holding it on. But it'll just gouge out your lighter. And you really shouldn't do that with a lighter because you will eventually break your lighter open and it'll explode. But anyways.
And look at that. So yes, you can open a cigarette or a beer with a cigarette lighter. You ain't got a bottle opener, it's better than using your fucking teeth. 1 second. Okay, Samuel Smith, you make some seriously damn good beer. Can I just say? Because the Samuel
Warlord taught him that before going to jail.
Smith Organic Chocolate Stout is like one of my favorite beers of all time. And they were out of the chocolate kind. So I'm like, alright, I like Samuel Smith. I'll fuck with the oatmeal, see how it tastes. And this oatmeal stout's actually pretty good. So I'm giving you Cool Cobras a sick beer review.
That was his beer review. The first third was talking about his Thanksgiving dinner with Clint. The second third was telling you how to open a twist off with a lighter. And the last bit was him saying, it's good. He's never be a better reviewer, Cobes. You're amazing at this. You're actually amazing at this. Okay. What was his next one? He did a food review. Guys. Oh, this one's much shorter, too. Much, much shorter.
We're fan of it, your boy King Cobra back.
Because the cutter outer cuts it out when he's just munching on food, because he's not saying anything, so, you know. It's only about a minute long.
I got it with another video. I went to the Homestretch Bar and Grill.
You didn't go there. You had DoorDash go there for you. Why does he say it like that? You had DoorDash get it for you. He always says it. I went there. You didn't go anywhere, Josh.
I got a pastrami Reuben sandwich. Comes with sliced pastrami, melty Swiss cheese, sauerkraut.
Like you're reading the receipt that was emailed to you because you ordered it online, Josh. Why does he do that?
That's Thousand Island dressing, served on a marbled rye bread. And I ordered a side of fries to go with it and some cheese curd. And I had them add extra Swiss cheese and bacon to it. Still warm in the bag, curds. Cheese curds are delicious. Cheese curds. I've had the Homestretch Bar and Grill before, they're pretty good. And I got this bigger box of goodies. Let's see what we got, folks. Did they add bacon to it? I asked for bacon to be added to it. Pretty good. No, I did ask for extra Swiss cheese and bacon, and I'm not seeing the bacon on here. Well, wait, never mind. I spoke too soon. Yep, they did add the bacon. I see it right there. Like, use your eyes, dumbass. I see the bacon sticking out right there. So they did add the bacon and the extra Swiss cheese like I asked for. Let's grab a bite of this sandwich. And we're dripping juices all over the place. 1 second, YouTube.
Making a mess.
Grab a napkin. That's a good sandwich. The pastrami sandwich with the sauerkraut Long Island dressing. Thousand Island Long Island dressing with bacon and extra cheese. Good sandwich.
It's just amazing food reviewer. Good sandwich. Good sandwich, guys. From the bar in Casper, Wyoming that you can't go to. Anyways, it was just some padding before we get into it. So now we're going to go into Woke Sucks, Part 1 by King Cobra JS. He's going to rail against being woke, which is probably, and I'm going to guess because I haven't watched this, I'm going to guess he's just going to rail against women and how women aren't fair to guys like him because he's an incel.
With your boy King Cobra back at it with another video. Trump's reform policy for transgender affirming care is going to piss a lot of people off. But here's the thing of it.
Here's the thing. Here's why Cobes knows more about you, and he's going to explain politics to you and why you shouldn't be concerned, because Cobes knows what he's talking about.
I actually agree with it. It's not transphobic, it's common sense. For one, making the government pay for your transgender surgery is kind of messed up when they could be using that money to help out the homeless.
Paying for a drunk idiot in Casper, Wyoming who doesn't want to work because he's too stupid to work and take direction. So he can sit here and make stupid YouTube videos and talk about woke politics is a waste of money. That could go to actually homeless people, Cobes. You're a waste of money. Gonna whine about, oh, that's a waste of money, when you're an actual resources black hole.
Things of that nature. And two, letting kids fully transition is so messed up. It's mutilation. You gotta protect the minors. That's all I'm saying. Hear me out, you two, before you call me a bigot. If kids are not old enough to smoke tobacco and drink alcohol, get tattoos or votes, then they're not old enough to transition. Kids do not know what they want. They will gravitate and
I don't think you have any idea what you're talking about. I think you just, excuse me. I think you just read an article that was probably meant to be inflammatory. That said something about, oh, Trump is going to stop the woke liberals from transitioning all our kids. And you are a smooth brain idiot. You go, yeah, that's a good thing. All these liberals want to transition our kids. I don't know why they want to do that.
feed off of what the adults are doing. So this whole trans thing is super popular, and kids just want to fit in and get acceptance. They'll gravitate towards it.
Yeah, probably.
That's why grooming them is so fucked up. And here's the thing of it. You can teach kids to be tolerant of LGBTQ+, without convincing them that they're in the wrong body. It's like, let them make that decision for themselves.
That is true. That is absolutely true. If it wasn't for Clint, he would be homeless, and he would be crying for those resources. It's only because of Clint and the government that he's not broken on the street, and he's sitting here crying about, well, we need to stop all these. They're wasting money on trans people. He's so stupid.
Quite frankly, it's messed up, because when I was a kid, I never had to worry about shit like this. I wasn't intolerant of it, but at the same time, I wasn't questioning my own shit like that either. So what happens when a kid decides that they're transgender? Well, let them cross-dress and experiment with it, but that's as far as it goes. Just the cross-dressing.
It's so weird. Why would you be okay with cross-dressing but not okay with, like, medical? It's so weird. It's such a weird stance. I don't think he's going to make any sense. I don't think he's going to make any sense whatsoever. It's just going to be a weird mess of ideas that he thinks sounds woke that is just going to be stupid.
The hormone replacement, the puberty blockers, fuck all of that. It's disastrous because they're pumping hormones into our children's food, which causes them to hit puberty way too early. Super unhealthy, by the way. And then your puberty blockers prevent it from happening on top of it. It's like an imbalance of all kinds of...
What are you talking... So they're both giving them stuff to go into puberty sooner and then also blocking puberty from happening. This is like this is the stupidest thing he's ever said, sorry.
Chemicals and shit. It's so messed up.
Yeah, basically.
And these people... We'll call them people because it's polite.
We'll call them people because it's polite. Not because they are people or anything, but because it's polite to do so. Otherwise, I wouldn't call them people. And he's so woke. He's so woke, guys.
I don't want to assume anyone's gender and get canceled. They're so quick.
You wouldn't misgender them by calling them people.
Quick to have acceptance and like tolerance that some of these more extremist assholes will say, and they don't stop and think, oh well, you know, kids are stupid, they don't know what they want in life, they're probably just trying to find acceptance and get attention. It's stupid. It's what it is. Now what happens when your kid decides, well, they're no longer trans, but you've already gone through with the surgery? Detransitioning is a lot harder than transitioning.
I don't think he has any idea what he's talking about. Like, people just transition and detransition all the time. It's so much harder to detransition, though, guys. So if you're thinking about transitioning and detransitioning, no, it's going to be really hard to detransition. That's the one reason, the main reason, why you should never think about transitioning.
And it's like kids don't understand the concept of gender and trans, and neither do the adults, quite frankly, because they'll say shit like...
The thing is idiots like Cobes don't understand what's actually happening. They just read an article, saw a stupid video, and they're like, well, obviously, all these 7-year-olds are taking hormones and getting surgeries, and then when they're 8 years old, they don't want to be a girl anymore, and they don't know how to detransition. That article on Rumble totally told me that's exactly what's happening.
it's gender is fluid. And I'm like, no, gender is not a fluid. Fluid is a liquid. Gender is not a social concept. Gender is based in biology, and biology doesn't give a fuck about your pronouns.
No, Cobes. Gender is a social construct. Sex is based in biology. You're a fucking moron, and you don't even know the words you're trying to say.
And you want proof to what I'm saying is true? Well, think about this.
Man.
The biggest argument that trans people love to make is that gender is not defined by genitalia. Well, if that were true, then why do you modify yours to look like the opposite sex? Well,
That doesn't make any sense at all as a concept. That makes as much fucking sense as his horse lock and key joke. Good job, Cobes. You just said something stupid as fuck.
say the opposite gender because sex and gender are different. Fuck sickos. Let me ask you this. Would you let your kids smoke cigarettes? And would you buy it for them? Of course not, knowing how highly addictive tobacco is and how it has disastrous consequences for your body, and some of the shit that cigarettes give you is non-reversible. Would you let your kid watch adult movies where adults are doing it? Of course you wouldn't. If you got your kid watching adult films, you'd probably fucking ground them and then have to give them the talk. You know what I'm saying? That's awkward. So I believe that if you want to be trans, no one's stopping you, but
no one's stopping you, except for Cobes is going to stop you from doing exactly what you want because he has a problem with it.
wait till you've gone through puberty as the gender you are assigned. Wait till you're an adult and you're more mature to make that decision.
Wait till you're an adult. Wait till you're about 50 or so to decide if you actually want to change and become like a different gender. Because anytime before that, Cobes is weirded out by it and he doesn't understand it. So he really just doesn't think you should do it.
Just gravitating towards whatever is politically...
No, it's not wrong at all. Him and Cyrax are so similar. That's why he hates Cyrax, because he's so similar to Cyrax. They're both idiots.
Popular because you want to make your parents happy. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? You can't say things like breastfeeding. That's gender-inclusive language. But at the same time, they tell us to be more inclusive of trans people, which... How is it not gender-inclusive to say these are my pronouns? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just asking questions here. Plus, you have to...
It doesn't make any sense. He's like an old man out of his time, furrowing his brow at these crazy kids. Well, I'm just asking questions here. Why can't I call you a dude and you a lady? Why can't I take a look under your skirt just to make sure you don't have a penis here? I'm just asking questions, guys. Just asking questions.
Rely on someone else's validation to validate who you are as a person. So no one half the time is going to take you seriously. Whereas I don't give a shit what people think about me.
Yeah, obviously you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be spouting this stupid shit, Cobes. You sound like a moron.
I get made fun of for being goth. Words like tranny and faggot are used as a derogatory insult to make fun of me for being a heterosis-normative male that wears nail polish and goth makeup and shit. And because of that crap, I will tell people the same thing the trans community loves to tell us. Don't assume my pronouns.
No one cares about your pronouns, Cobes. Everyone can see that you identify as a guy, and you're a smooth-brained idiot that's gonna get angry if anyone even suggests you identify as anything other than a guy. That's why people tell you don't identify as guy, because you get fucking pissed off because you're a smooth-brained moron.
Bigots. But not every man who wears makeup is gay or trans. That's a stereotype. Then you using it as an insult shows how bigoted you are as a person. And that's just my opinion. And nothing against trans people, but sometimes y'all can be a little self-centered. And it's all about you and your pronouns, and everyone else can fuck off, right? Let me give you an example and pour ourselves a little something stiff. If you see a trans person changing in the female locker room, they got the tits, they got the long hair, they got a little bit of facial surgery done. It kind of looks like a chick, kind of doesn't. It's hard to tell, right? but they pull down their pants and they still got a penis and balls.
Just the way. Cobes has spent a lot of time thinking about this exact situation. This exact situation comes to his mind at least once a day. At least once a day, he just thinks about this exact fucking situation. He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
What? Okay, if you have a dick and balls, you do not belong in the female locker room, period. When you make your fellow women feel uncomfortable and unsafe in their own safe space while screaming how you're oppressed and your safe space is more important, these people who are made to feel uncomfortable, quite frankly, are told just get over it and you're being transphobic. So now men who are turning themselves into chicks are silencing the voices of other women. And quite frankly, it's disgusting. Women have had to fight since before the 60s.
Again, it's so stupid. Yeah, since before the 60s. That was a random date. Around the 60s was when everything for women got easier. But before the 60s, women had to fight. This is just garbage diarrhea coming out of his mouth. And the worst part is, he thinks he's saying something. He's just spouting idiocy.
To have the right to vote, to have their own sports leagues. And that's another thing Trump is going to do. He's going to make it so, like, these people cannot compete alongside women because, quite frankly, it's unfair.
Yeah, Trump. That's what the president does. President tells like the NFL that trans women can't be in their sport. That's what that's like the number one thing the president is concerned about is trans people in sports, guys.
To have these dudes who have benefited from testosterone their entire life. They get fake tits and a little bit of estrogen. And now all of a sudden they're a female. Fuck that. And no offense to trans people, but identity politics and pronouns are fucking stupid.
He's literally playing the identity politics game right now, just from his own side. But he thinks like, oh no, because they're doing it, that's not okay.
I could say I identify as Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. That doesn't make it true, does it? No, it does not. It does not, YouTube. I'm not here to pick on trans people. I'm just calling out the extreme woke culture. Because quite frankly, I don't have a problem with trans or gay people. I have a problem with the woke ideology and the extremist politics that surrounds this narrative.
No, Josh, you absolutely have a problem with specifically trans people. That's exactly what you have a problem with. You try to say you have a problem with other shit that you don't even know what you're talking about, as evidenced by the shit that comes out of your fucking mouth. You have no idea what you're fucking talking about. It's because you have a problem with trans people, because you're very confused about your feeling towards trans people, because you're a gay little wizard.
No one's saying you can't be trans. But if you're a dude transitioning into a chick, you cannot have babies. You can adopt them like any gay couple would, as long as they're in a loving and safe, nurturing home. And you don't force your kid to be trans like yourself and let them just do their own thing. That's called grooming, assholes. Stop it, you woke assholes. And people Photoshop me looking trans just to make fun of me for being a hetero cis normative goth who wears goth makeup and shit. And quite frankly, it's disgusting because I'm not. They're bullying me for being a straight ally and at the same time just doing my thing. And I can't.
There's no such thing as a straight ally. Oh my god, he sounds like a fucking moron. This sounds like exactly like when Chris Chan tried to add straight to the LGBTQ acronym. Like, there's no such thing as a straight ally, you fucking moron.
I get mad at them and say, well, I'm going to cancel you because you're mislabeling my pronouns. Because if you're a hetero cisgendered white male, heterosexual cisgendered white male, no one gives a shit about your pronouns. While the same side that does this crap says, you better care about what we have to say, otherwise you're a bigot. And like it or not, there are going to be some people who are not going to support what you're doing. So if you're truly confident with who you are as a person, stop giving a shit what everyone else thinks about you. It's liberating. And
yeah, has that gotten you this far in life where you're a drunk alcoholic in a shitty trailer in Wyoming, no friends, the few friends you... excuse me. The few friends you do have scam you out of money because they don't respect you. Everyone on the internet considers you a fool and a laughing stock, and they just watch your videos to laugh at you. Is that where not caring about people has gotten you? Okay, we have a super chat from Harry, $5. You'd think Cobes would be in favor of transitions, get himself a hair transplant. You would think he would be in favor of that alone, because really, excuse me, the only thing that would make it grow back would be transitioning at this point.
The insults I get, are they annoying? Yes, but am I gonna stop being myself? Fuck no. And I don't like the term cisgendered. How can a cis be a gender? I've had a cis removed once, they're not fun.
Oh my god, don't start with a stand-up comedy, Cobes. You're not funny and you're not clever. Cis is the Latin inverse of trans. That's where it comes from. It's not made up. Comes from cis. It's not something made up. It's because it's a Latin term. God damn, he's so fucking stupid. Someone just made up cis. It's the opposite of trans. It's an actual so stupid.
For the term biologically gendered, or we could be smartasses about it and call it birthing gender. Because you can't say women give birth, even though that's biology 101. Women give birth.
Oh my god, you're a fucking moron, Cobes. You're an actual fucking moron. And the worst part is, he really thinks he's smart and he's like saying something. He's saying something deep, and people are gonna hear this and they're gonna change their mind after this alcoholic idiot goes on a rambling thing about woke politics that he knows fuck all about.
Men provide sperm for the egg, and then the egg and the sperm mix together and it forms a baby. That's just basic science.
He barely understands biology.
And you can't say that, because that's offensive to some people. You gotta call them birthing people, because it's more inclusive that way. Because you can't say shit like birthing people, or birthing.
No one in the world has ever said the term birthing people. You're just an idiot and you're making up things and you think it sounds clever. You're a fucking moron.
You know what I'm saying?
He does.
Because women are people too, yes, but women give birth. Men do not. The only way a trans person could have a baby, theoretically speaking, is if a woman were transitioning into a dude, but she hadn't removed her uterus yet. No, it's ridiculous. A lot of these extreme...
By your own definition, she would still be a woman, Cobes. What are you talking about, you fucking moron?
Extremist woke assholes want us to be respectful of their pronouns. But when you call out the bullshit, it pisses people off. If gender is not defined by genitalia, then you wouldn't get the surgeries, would you? You could just say you're a chick and people would have to accept it, otherwise they'd be intolerant. And I'm like, that's not how it should work. I'm not trying to argue science and birth versus your human rights here, but it's the truth.
That's exactly what you're doing, and you're not even doing a very good job of it. You're a moron, Cobes.
Women have been taking crap from us men for a long time, and quite frankly, a lot of them are sick of it. You'll hear a lot of things from women saying that their gender is not a costume, and they're not trying to treat it like it's a costume, so to speak. They truly believe that they're a female trapped inside a man's body, and it's sad.
Oh yeah. I have part 2 lined up. For after this. Don't worry. We have a part 2 lined up right after this. It's gonna be as stupid, I'm sure.
I feel sorry for trans people, to be honest, because you have to rely on someone else's validation to feel good about yourself. Fuck that. Look, I'm a straight ally to a point, but when you're watching the gay pride parades and adults are walking around naked in front of kids, and you can't call it out for what it is, because
that doesn't even have to do with trans people. Now he's just hating gay people in general. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. Cobes, you didn't see any gay pride parade in Casper, Wyoming. You saw an article where someone told you that's happening, and like the smooth brain idiot you are, you go, oh yeah, that's definitely happening. That's definitely what's happening. They're having gay pride parades on every street, and they're just showing off in front of kids every day. That's exactly what's happening.
Because you're intolerant, they'll make you intolerant of the LGBs.
Closeted.
And I'm like, screw that. That is nasty. Nobody wants to see your private parts. The pride parade should not be about nudity or sexuality. It should be about acceptance, pride, and tolerance. And it's not very tolerant if you have a member of LGBTQ+ who supports Trump. Everyone in that community will ostracize and alienate you. You can't even agree on what you want your flag to look like. Because the new gay flag got so much fucking hate. But it's all about tolerance and acceptance, right? Fuck off. It is. It's supposed to be about tolerance and acceptance. And it sucks that there are not going to be people who align with your groupthink because they got their own groupthink going, but...
Yeah, it's supposed to be about tolerance and acceptance. Why can't you accept that I hate you, you damn bigots?
That's life. Like it or not, people are entitled to their opinion. It doesn't make them right. It doesn't make their opinion more important than yours, but that just means we're all people and we're all trying to exist. And I still have like a little bit of eyeliner left from the other night when I was...
Railing against trans people. Go, yeah, by the way, I got some eyeliner still on. Cobes! You're a gay little wizard.
Here's my problem with the whole trans thing. You got people now who identify as trans-disabled. People who will go around saying they have autism when they have never been properly diagnosed.
Oh, there it is, there it is. Now it's hitting home with Cobes. How dare anyone claim they have autism when Cobes clearly struggles with autism, as evidenced by this entire rant. He doesn't understand the world. How dare you pretend to not understand the world, too?
And they don't even have autistic traits or symptoms. They just want to feel special and included. People who identify as trans-disabled or transracial. You got white people who think that they're black. So they inject themselves melatonin and start acting black. And it's like...
That doesn't happen! What world are you living in where you just read articles of the most knee-jerk inflammatory bullshit and you immediately take it as fact of what's going on in the majority of the world? You are such an idiot.
That is cultural appropriation at its finest, and you're so doing like the ultimate form of blackface. But if you call it out for what it is, they can call you a trans racist phobic piece of shit. And it's like, what the fuck?
He clearly doesn't know the difference between melatonin and melanin. He's an idiot. He's an actual idiot.
Society on crack? Like, seriously, could you imagine 500 plus years of black people being oppressed by white people, just to have white people turn around and say that they're black now because that's how they feel? And it's like, no, I draw the line at transgender, because the second you start letting people do this crap, they're gonna run crazy with it and take advantage of political wokeness. That's what it is. Unfortunately, you're gonna have
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. One guy may be done. Maybe even a small group of people. And then someone writes an article and goes, look at all these liberal people injecting themselves with melanin to make themselves black. And then idiots like Cobes read it and assume that's what's happening in the majority of the world because he's a fucking moron. Most people would read that and understand there's a few fringe crazy people and it's like, that's not really the norm. And it's happening, but it's weird. Cobes reads it and goes, oh, that's clearly what everyone's doing. They're either transitioning or trying to turn black. It's what the world is doing, because I read an article on it, guys.
a couple of perverts who want to see some chicks in a certain state of position.
Exactly.
And they're going to take advantage of political wokeness. And when you call them out for their shit, everyone's so quick to defend them and be like, you're just a bigot. You didn't. I'm like, yeah, but on the one hand chance that maybe they're lying because they want to see naked chicks. Which, you don't gotta lie about being trans to see naked chicks, man, and make other women feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, you just have to be a gothic bad boy in his 30s who says weird shit on his channel all the time. That will make all the women uncomfortable.
They really don't. They have websites for that kind of thing.
Yeah, Cobes knows all those websites too, by the way. If you were worried about his ability to make women uncomfortable, just ask him for a list of the websites.
Terrorate. Excuse me.
There you go, right there.
If you want to see naked chicks do their thing, then they have websites like Chatterbait where you can do that and
Why did you do the little coughing thing if 2 seconds later you're just gonna say the name of the website? What is wrong with you?
prick about it. I'm just saying. And unfortunately, that's kind of what ruins it for the whole letting trans people use the bathroom they feel comfortable with. At the same time, they have gender-neutral bathrooms, and, like, no one's gonna lose their shit over it. Like, unfortunately, you're gonna have the one bad apple that ruins it for y'all, and that's quite frankly bullshit, because in my personal opinion, trans people do not need any more negative publicity.
He goes to one bad apple shouldn't ruin it for everybody, after giving examples of why one bad apple is allowed to ruin it for everybody. He's so stupid.
Especially after bitches like Audrey Hale. Fuck Audrey Hale. She's that stupid transgendered cunt that pulled a mass shooting in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm not going to acknowledge her pronouns. She identifies as a...
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to acknowledge her pronouns. And what does she go by?
Dude.
She goes by a dude. There you go. Wonderful. He's an idiot. He's an actual idiot.
But it's like, you're not a dude, you're a chick injecting yourself with testosterone. And dudes were more than just testosterone. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. And why she did it? Because she had a crush on this girl she went to school with, and that girl died in a car crash, and that school also bullied her relentlessly, so in her fucked up mind, that justified what she did. Fuck that. I wonder if the cop who shot her had a one...
I can't believe he just said that. I can't believe he actually just said that. He is... I mean, oh my god, he's a lunatic. He's an actual lunatic. What the fuck, Cobes? You are beyond fucking hope.
Liner like, I got your testosterone shot right here.
Alright, well that's the end of part 1. Wow, Cobes is a psychopath. Cobes is an actual psychopath. He understands... I just want to see if I can put that into context for what I just picked up from everybody from this, that maybe you didn't, maybe we can all get on the same page. What I just picked up from that was that Cobes understands the motivations of a mass shooter better than he understands the motivations of what would make someone be trans. That's what I just picked up from what he just ended there. He understands the mentality of being a mass shooter better than the mentality of wanting to be trans. That's actually insane. That's actually fucking insane. That's wow. Okay, well let's check out part 2. How long is part 2? Jesus Christ. Oh, it's 16 minutes long. Okay, let's go into it, guys.
It's your boy King Cobes. We're back at it with another video. So I'm uploading a little mini-series on YouTube called Woke Sucks.
Yeah, keep going, boy.
And I'll probably just do like 2 parts, keep it short, sweet, to the point. And like I said in my last...
Short, sweet, to the point. Before that, cut out all the dead air. These were like 25 minutes each. Short, sweet, and to the point. Like Cyrax. I'm gonna keep it short and then rambles for a fucking hour. He's insane.
Last part 1, I have no problems with trans people. Or gay people. I just don't like the extremist politics that surround these ideologies and woke culture as a whole. It's so fucking toxic. I like a bunch of white women in the radical left are weaponizing woke culture against us to fit some political agenda, and it's disgusting. I'll give you an example. Like, Ozzy Osbourne, happy early birthday, bud. We're gonna fucking celebrate super hard on my channel tomorrow for sure. He used to do drag for like music videos and shit. And he was just being goofy, being silly. It had nothing to do with his pronouns or his gender or sexuality.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with being trans. It was dressing up as a woman for a joke, or for a bit, or for a video, or for whatever the fuck he was doing. Why is that an example, Josh? You're too stupid. You just said why it's not at all related, and you're gonna say, and then this is how it's related.
You hear a lot of people scream about how, like, your genitals don't define your gender or sexuality or any of that. But what you really should be saying is that what you wear, like clothing-wise, shouldn't determine shit. That society is based in gender stereotypes, so I understand that to a point. But at the same time, it's like, if you're a hetero, straight, cis-normative white man...
Yeah, he gets into these loops where he thinks that he just hasn't made his point well enough and he just keeps talking for a long time, you'll understand his point. That's usually what happens with people. When they haven't made their point well within 10 minutes, if they just keep talking, eventually you'll just understand. It's just because they haven't said enough. It's not because you disagree or what they say is stupid. They just haven't said enough. So he's going to keep talking until he thinks he's said enough to convince the world that he's right.
Male, otherwise known as a straight, heterosexual male who was born a male and you identify as a male and you're white.
You know, there's a Patton Oswalt bit about this, and I don't want to try to say it, but basically when someone knows the right buzzwords to say, and they're saying stuff like, I'm a cis heteronormative, they're basically saying they're a bigot. They're just trying to hide behind the fact they're saying it appropriately.
Nobody gives a fuck about your pronouns. Well, everyone else is screaming, you have to respect everyone's pronouns. And I'm like, I'm not going to respect everyone's pronouns because fuck sickos and fuck serial killers.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When you don't respect people's pronouns, it's just because you're an asshole. It's just because you're an asshole. If someone says, my name is Mark, and you start calling them Tom, you're just an asshole. It's not because you disagree with their name choice. You're just being an asshole. If someone says, would you mind calling me her? And you go, no, I'm going to call you him. You're just an asshole. You're not making a stance for conservatism or a stance against wokeism. You're just being an asshole. Same as if someone said, hey, my name's Mike, and you said, all right, Sam. You're just being an asshole.
Now, one thing that really pissed me off about this whole ideology is back in the day, in Scotland, a man was convicted and found guilty of raping several women. And he showed up to court dressed up in drag, screaming at the world how he's transgender. He demanded to be thrown into a female prison.
Oh, I bet he's not only going to get every detail of this stupid story right, but that he's going to take away the actual, what actually happened from the story as the moral.
That's not how the law should work. Because quite frankly, if you rape women and then demand to be thrown into a female prison because you don't want to get ass raped in jail by other men for what you did, because you're a coward and a piece of shit. The dude was taking advantage of woke culture and the transgender ideology, and quite frankly, it's disgusting.
Yeah, what does he care about Scotland? They can't even speak English in Scotland.
Disgusting. Did the judge in that case think to himself, that's not how prison works. And if you get raped in prison for raping other women, that's called karma, you fucking asshole. Did he think, do trans people need any more negative publicity?
Did he really just say that? Wow. If you get raped in jail, well, that's just karma. That is an actually disturbing thing to say. What a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, if you get raped in jail, that's just karma, guys. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Nope. For fear of being canceled, keyboard coward pussy piece of shit, for afraid of being canceled, so afraid of woke culture and being canceled that they let the man go to that female prison anyways. He lasted 1 week before repeating his offense. And then he was immediately hauled off to a man's prison. And now in Scotland, if you're a dude and you're transitioning, you can still go to a female prison for your heinous crimes against women, but you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're not going to be a threat to your fellow female inmates. And on top of that, in Scotland, if you misgendered somebody, you can get thrown in jail for a hate crime. Now, when J.K. Rowling comes out and says this is an outrage towards women,
like, seriously, he's railing against something that's happening halfway across the world that doesn't even affect him because he's so worried about his own gender and sexuality that he thinks it's actually an attack on him because he's that much of a fucking moron.
And this should not be allowed. She immediately gets attacked for being transphobic. And she was allegedly, they tried to cancel her for it. And I'm like, well, first of all, if you identify as a woman, correct? Then you're a woman, correct? Therefore, it's a woman's issue, regardless if you're trans or not. Second of all, it's like, you think about it from, like the way I just said it. You know? There are going to be some assholes who lie about their gender and shit because they're fucking asshole perverts and they're trying to take advantage of woke culture, and quite frankly, it's disgusting.
So therefore, no trans people should be allowed any rights whatsoever, is what Cobes is getting at. You
know, like these assholes, like these fucking assholes, YouTube. I got no problems with trans people, YouTube, but there are some assholes who are going to lie about it because they're trying to take advantage of political wokeness, and it's disgusting. Like, if you're a dude, but you get yourself some fake boobs, and you get the hair, and then you get the facial reconstructive surgery, but you still have a penis and balls. It's like, okay.
Why would you get the facial reconstruction surgery before you get the bottom surgery? You're a fucking moron, Cobes. You're an actual moron. You're gonna get all the other surgeries, but keep the penis and balls. You're a moron, Cobes.
If you have a dick and balls, YouTube, you do not belong in the female locker room, period. And you want to make it all about your pronouns and your safe space. What about everyone else's safe space? What about their pronouns? If you make everyone else, you make your fellow women, air quotation, feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like he's just thinking of dick girls he's seen in porn. It really does. And like he can't think of a trans person outside of his weird wank world.
Got a little girl and her mom trying to change in the locker room and feel safe and secure. If they feel unsafe because there's clearly a man in the locker room, you know, and it grosses them out, these people are being told, well, you're just transphobic and you just suck it up, bigots. Okay, but if you make these trans people feel unsafe and insecure and unprotected, you're immediately canceled. And that would be what we call
immediately canceled. Yet Cobes goes on for years spouting this bullshit and whining. You know, the super chat from Isaiah. Stalked Alicia bad. Clint said she passed to stop. Yeah. Cobes is a fucking stalker and whining about trans people, guys.
Transgendered privilege, my friends. And people are going to take advantage of that because people are dicks. You know, the book, You Give a Mouse a Cookie. It's the truth. It's the perfect way to describe this. And it's like, hey.
Yes, the entire political argument boils down to the message from If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. That's the intellect level that Cobes is running on. If you give a mouse a cookie.
Here's a thought. If you still have a dick and balls, then you have to change in the men's locker room. I don't care if it makes you feel uncomfortable, because quite frankly, it makes everyone else feel uncomfortable.
This is literally not an issue. This is not even an issue. I'm pretty sure this is not really an issue. I'm pretty sure there's not, like, ladies' rooms just infested with half-trans people swinging their dick and balls around but going, I have tits, you can't kick me out. The fuck is going on in his world where he thinks this is actually an issue?
And that's what pisses me off about our society is it becomes a he said, she said moment.
I feel like this was an argument from 8 years ago that fizzled out because it was so stupid. It was so stupid that people just moved on.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you either have to give trans people their own locker rooms, or fucking, if you still got a dick and balls, you're changing in the men's locker room. End of discussion. And me, this dude right here, King Cobra JFS, 1,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. What's up? Like I said in part 1 of this video, which has got 7 minutes left to upload, I'm very...
This hadn't even finished uploading, and he was sitting here taping another one. He was so certain it was going to go so well that he was just railing and making a second one while it was uploading. Oh my god.
Progressive. I'm a straight ally to a point, but when I say to a point, there's only so much you can tolerate before you're just like, wait a minute. Speaking on the whole trans disabled thing.
Also, this was a 25-minute video. His internet is shit. 7 minutes? Really? It should have taken a minute to upload? At most?
There are people out there who think that they belong in a wheelchair. They don't need it for medical reasons. They were not born handicapable. They just do it because that's how they feel. And they'll get surgeries to remove sections of their spine, so they have to use it. And quite frankly, it's a slap in the face to people who are medically dependent on these devices. It is. It's disgusting. And I'm like, where's the alcohol? It's Ozzy Osbourne's birthday tomorrow. I believe he's turning 76. And I'm excited to celebrate it. You know, that'd be like me identifying as Ozzy Osbourne. You know, people look at me like, okay, Cobra, we get you're a super fan, but that's not how it works, bud. Calm.
That is basically what happens, Cobes. You walk around pretending you're a rock star with all your fucking baubles, with Ozzy tattooed on your knuckles, with your fucking wands and your hat, calling yourself a goth bad boy, and everyone just looks at you and nods and goes, okay, Cobes. Exactly like you just said.
Calm down. That was just an example. I know who I am. Josh Saunders, the legendary Gothic King Cobra. You know, it's bloody fucking stupid. It's like, no one...
And you think that Ozzy even knows or gives a fuck who this useless drunk in Wyoming is. Pathetic.
I'm saying you can't be trans, but for health reasons, wait till you're 18 or older and you've gone through puberty as the gender you are assigned. You know, or better yet, wait till you're 21 and up. You're old enough to drink, you're old enough to smoke.
Yeah, again. Wait until your body is completely changed by all the hormones until you decide to transition, just so it's that much worse and harder on your body, because if you try to do it sooner, it weirds Cobra out and he's not okay with it.
You're old enough to vote. We're just saying when we call out your bullshit and trying to make sense of how confusing it is, we get called a bigot. Let me ask the trans people this.
Hey, did he just say it's confusing? I just want to go over that.
And trying to make sense of how confusing it is, we get called a bigot.
Yeah, there it is. The problem is not that you don't like it, or it's not okay, or the problem is you don't understand it, because you're an autistic idiot who doesn't understand nuance, and it's too hard for you to understand, so you'd rather just ban it. Just like Chris Chan, just like every other artist. If it weirds you out, you'd rather just fucking ban it. Here we go from Isaiah. Breaking point with Warlord was for bashing Ozzy. Really? Is that true? That's funny.
Let me ask.
Thank you for the 2.
To trans people this. What if somebody identified as trans, but they did nothing to show support for the community, or use pronouns, or get the surgery? They just wanted the attention.
Then they wouldn't be trans, Josh. It's not a matter of someone says they're trans and they are. That's actually the reason. Whatever. That's a say. Whatever.
Do you not, as a trans person, feel like, hey, you're violating your beliefs and who you are as a person, etc.? Because that's exactly how cisgendered women feel when it comes to this issue sometimes. You're not a woman, you're a trans woman. You're in a separate category. You're not a man, you're a trans man. You're in a separate category from... And a lot of people are going to be pissed off about Trump's regime policies, but I quite frankly agree, because when the adults are screaming at you to respect my gender, but you can't even define what gender is. You want to say that there are like 10 billion genders out there.
I mean, it might be only because they both are idiots who buy shit at Hot Topic because they think it's cool, because they're grown teenagers.
And it's like, okay, who has time to memorize every fucking gender pronoun you think exists? No, there are only two genders, male and female. And then that creates a lot of in-between. Now, if you want to be, I say there's four genders, that's just my opinion. Male, female, transgender, hermaphrodite / other.
Oh my god. Hermaphrodite / other. Doesn't other imply that there's also more than just that? What the fuck? And hermaphrodite is not a thing. It's not even a thing. It's a dated term. Doesn't exist.
But that's just my opinion, because I'm trying to be more inclusive here with this video.
Like, seriously, probably saw some porn and thinks it was real. It's not a thing.
And like I said in part 1, I don't have a problem with trans or gay people. I have a problem with the woke culture and the extremists and the ideologies. And the problem with woke culture is culture.
I don't want to talk too much about biology. But you can't be both. You can't be both. Physically, you can't be both. Women can have an enlarged clitoris like Now has. But there's no, like, you can't have both. You can't have both. The same organs become the other thing on the different gender. You can't have both. It just doesn't happen. You know?
They talk down to you like you're stupid.
Like, the testicles become ovaries. It's like the same thing. You know, you can't have both testicles and ovaries. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever, man.
Like they're better than you. And they're all-knowing. And it's just so self-centered and condescending. Like, it's good to be a little bit woke and informed on the issues and, like, hear all sides of the argument before you make your own conclusion on the situation.
That's right.
Outside of that, and people are sick and tired of woke culture. That's why we all voted for Trump.
Oh, I bet you he did go off on some rant at this at Thanksgiving, and they were like, "We don't want to hear it, Cobes," and he decided to make a video about it. Oh, we got another 2. Warlord got more. That's funny. That's funny.
And you can sit here and scream about how Trump's this, Trump's that, blah, 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 blah. But the only reason the Democrats picked Kamala Harris is because she's a woman of color, and if you don't vote for her, they can play the whole, you're a sexist.
We have 2 from Cursed Details. It's fun to watch Josh fight his own mind. Yes, it is. A
racist card. And it's like, well, you're not allowed to agree with her policies without being called a racist or a sexist. See, that's why I hate politics. If a woman of color were to just say she doesn't like Trump, I couldn't call her and say, that's because you hate white men, huh, you racist and you sexist. It wouldn't play out like that.
This is not politics, Josh. This is not politics.
Probably get slapped. She'd be like, you never hear the end of it. And I'm not here to pick on anyone specifically, but that's exactly how it is. Amaretto, 1 second, with cherry Coke and peach Jack Daniels. Not half bad. And quite frankly, I hate sexism. I hate racism. I hate transphobia. I hate gay phobia. As long as you're not a sicko, why can't we all just get along? You know, that's why I preach power to the people on my channel. I'm not a bad person.
I'm not a bad person. Why can't we all just get along? After he's been railing against trans people existing. He's been railing against trans people existing for the better part of an hour.
I see bullshit, I call it out. And I'm not afraid to be myself, you know? It's what it is. I put myself out there. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. If I gave a fucking shit about what people thought about me, I'd stop doing my thing, you know? Part 1's about to hit the fucking video streamings. Let me ask you this. If trans people are made to feel unsafe in their safe spaces, people are immediately called out, canceled, and harassed for it. When they do it to everyone else, we're told to tolerate it. That's called hypocrisy.
Josh, trans people existing and making you have funny feelings in your pants because you don't know how to deal with the fact that they exist is not them entering your space and messing with you. It's you not understanding how to deal with your feelings towards trans people, Josh. That's what this is all about. You have very confusing feelings towards trans people, and you don't understand them, so you turn it into hatred.
Like I said in part 1, people will use words like tranny and faggot to make fun of me for being a hetero, cis-normative, straight white male who wears goth makeup. It's a way to insult trans and gay people. It's a way to insult me for being a straight ally and make fun of me for dressing goth. And I can't go around screaming, well, I'm going to cancel you, because no one cares about my fucking pronouns while they scream about how everyone else is supposed to care about theirs. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't have to respect everyone's pronouns, because I'll say it again. Fuck serial killers and fuck sickos. Fuck incels. Fuck themselves. And then libtard.
You are an incel, Josh. You are King Incel, JFS.
Are just losing their shit because Trump won the election. They didn't get their way, so now they're acting like immature assholes about it, screaming on TikTok and shaving their head. You know, 4 years from now, when Trump's no longer president and we have a new president, you're going to regret acting like this because it makes the radical left look psychotic. But you know, the Trump supporters are the ones that are radical, right? And truth be told, yes, Trump is going to have some very...
That doesn't surprise me at all. He's absolutely a sicko serial killer in denial.
Radical supporters. And it's sad, but Trump cannot control what his supporters do. All Trump can do is control what he does. Just like blaming Kamala Harris or Joe Biden for their radical supporters. You'd hear the same argument, dude. So, like, these 4B bitches are gonna swear off sex, dating, starting a family. And they're saying no to men. Now, as a man who's gone 6 years without having a girlfriend, it ain't gonna affect me much. It ain't gonna affect me much, to be honest. But
it's not gonna affect him much. He's just gonna make an hour-long rant about how much it hurts his feelings to have trans people exist.
Well, if you don't want to date, have sex, start a family, and you want to swear off men for the next 4 years because your cunt hurts because Trump's president, do what you want, Sister Sledge. It's your body, it's your right. But then you're going to be twice as miserable because you ain't getting any dick. And then you're going to bitch and complain that you can't find a good guy to date. And it's like, well, you can't go on TikTok and bitch because you can't find a good man to date. But they go around on that same platform and swear off men because Trump's president.
This is a man who's been looking for a girl to date on YouTube for 10 years.
And Trump doesn't give a shit if these women swear off all these things. Trump doesn't give a shit about the 4B movement. He's going to tell you the same thing. It's your body. Do whatever makes you feel happy. He's got a country to run, goddammit. And a lot of women love to scream about what a convicted rapist that Trump is. Well, here's something to think about. One, if Trump was guilty of the things that people said he did, how come he's not in jail? Two, if Kamala Harris were convicted of rape, nobody would believe it because of all the negative stereotypes that men have to face.
What?
That all men are rapists, sexist, asshole pigs who only want one thing.
Yeah, another two. He just doesn't want. He doesn't want to admit he wants Blair White. Yes, this is all because Cobes has very, very confusing feelings towards trans people. So he turns it into hatred because he doesn't understand it.
Called rape when men do it, but when women do it, it's called sexual liberation. If a man tries going to the cops and saying a woman raped him, no one's going to take him seriously. And they'll be like, bro, how was it rape? You got laid. Pound, fist bump, dude. Pound it. Like Bill Barr said, women who be treated just like men, no the fuck you don't. You just want all the good shit. And that's not how equality works. Shaving your head, screaming how you're done with men and having sex and trying to start a family and you're done with dating. That's not going to affect jack shit. When you're having a mental breakdown on YouTube, screaming as loud as you can, crying your fucking eyes out because you didn't win, you didn't get the Kamala Harris you wanted, realistically, how can you take a woman seriously when her first name has the word cum in it? But that's not.
When you make videos whining about how women don't treat you nicely on YouTube every day, crying about your ex, who everyone told you was insane, that you still went out with, who ruined your life, when your name is King Cobra, and you're 30 years old, 34 years old, calling yourself a goth bad boy, how can anyone take you seriously, Josh? You're a fucking joke and a drunk idiot.
Neither here nor there. Another cameo shout out. Sweet. The people are sick and tired of all the extremist, woke, ideologic bullshit. We're sick and tired of being talked down to like we're stupid. Like all the woke side's better than us. Fuck you.
Alright, finally we are through Cobes' woke nonsense bullshit. He's an idiot. He's an actual idiot. And the more I watch Cobes, the less respect I have for him. Like, every day, he's the worst. So, we're gonna go on to the Adrasdea. Don't worry, the Adrasdea stuff is not long. It is not long. We have maybe at most 10 minutes of Adrasdea here. So don't worry. Not gonna be doing that for Adrasdea. So we're going to start with her goodbye for now. She put out a video maybe 2 months ago on her channel saying goodbye for now. She was leaving the internet because of all the bullies, all the trolls, all the harassment, and she was never coming back. And she wasn't back for a while. Let's check it out.
Okay, so
I'm
trying to make this quick because I made another video that was very long and tearful, and I decided that I don't want to do that. But friend and I did want to make a video saying goodbye to our supporters and letting them know what's going on. So I'm not going to be doing YouTube.
Oh, if you don't know who Adrasdea is, I you need to look her up. She's a long storied lol cow with years of history. She's a murderer. She's a homeless idiot. She's made years and years of videos. She's kind of like a female Cyrax. Don't worry too much about the backstory. If you want to look it up after watching this, go for it afterwards. Adonis Paul has a wonderful series on it. Look up Adonis Paul, Adrasdea, Mayo, the story. It's great. We went over it this summer. Just know she's a female Cyrax. She's a lol cow who was saying she was leaving. This is her video saying she was leaving. She has a video where she came back after this. That's all that matters.
Anymore. No more gaming, books, one step beyond any of it. I'm done. There's multiple reasons, but
there's
when
it.
I started
It's amazing.
This channel
That's
and
amazing.
the other channel, both channels were an attempt for me to find a community, an attempt for me to find a place where I felt accepted, where I felt heard. I'm never going to find that. And it's not specifically because of the people that are out to get me, but
Yeah, she does.
my
That's true.
mental
That is true.
state is too broken. Even if everybody believed me, I would still hurt. Even if I had all the support in the world, I would not feel it because I don't know how to. I have an attachment issue from the way I was raised. And staying is only giving my family the outlet and the platform to continue hurting me, to continue keeping track of me and upsetting me whenever they feel like it. I'm going to continue my walk for Bubba. That'll be this winter.
Bubba.
It'll be on Facebook. I'll be posting miles and updates on that. But I'm only going to be doing that once a year. Instead of staying and allowing my family to keep me agitated, to keep me fighting, I'm going to do it once a
I'm
year.
assuming that's about Cobes, right? I'm assuming.
Walk for awareness for what they've done to Bubba. And I'm going to try to heal. That's all I can do. Friend appreciates you. And I do too. And if anything substantial happens, I'll be back. But for now, I'm saying goodbye.
So something substantial did happen. Something substantial did happen. And she came back with a video titled, "Bullies Don't Last Forever. There's Always Hope." She finally got some comeuppance against one of her trolls, I guess. Look at her come back all happy.
Hello. It's been a little while since I've posted, and I said that I was going to be gone unless something substantial happened. Something fairly substantial has happened, at least in my viewpoint. And it doesn't mean I'm coming back. I just wanted to mark it down, make a little notation in my online diary that one of my bullies has backed down, given up, and left YouTube.
When I saw this, I immediately went to Adonis Paul's channel. I was like, God, I hope not. No, it wasn't Adonis Paul. Thank fucking God. Yeah, bullies last forever. I'm sure that one person just took a break or maybe left, but there's plenty of bullies left for her.
One down. There were...
One down.
The group was large.
Hundreds to go.
I think there are about a dozen of them.
More than a dozen.
But
more than a dozen.
One down is one down, right? And I'm going to be uploading this to both of my channels because it was actually the Adrasdea channel that brought me to the attention to this. I had downloaded my studio and was looking at the old videos.
That's true.
Wondering
Maybe
if there's
not.
anything I could salvage if I took from both channels to create a whole new channel. And I noticed some new comments were wondering where I was at and letting me know that somebody was gone and that I had won.
She didn't win
I don't
anything.
see it as a win because this has been
Yeah.
an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, because the entire world, the internet, knows you're a fucking murderer. And you don't want to admit it.
It's not a victory.
By the way, look her up. That is a true fact. She is actually a murderer. She wrote a book about how she participated in a murder because she is a murderer.
For anyone. But Original Owl has stepped away from YouTube. As far as I can see, all of her videos are gone, which includes all the ones that she made about me, except for the ones that were re-uploaded by
She always
other
has the worst
channels that are
hair.
documenting this situation.
She's the hair of an idiot.
So, for those not aware, Original Owl
No,
was
she didn't. She testified against the guy she committed the murder with, so she got off scot-free, and then claimed to be the victim of the whole thing. She's terrible. She's a horrible, horrible person.
the channels that was targeting me. She was insisting that I belong in prison for a crime that somebody else committed, confessed to, and has been in
There you
prison
go.
for
There you go.
for a decade.
And she helped the guy. She helped him hide the body. She was caught on surveillance camera buying a shovel. A shovel. I mean, it's pretty much, you're an accomplice at that point. Why else would you buy a shovel?
And she has spent 4 years now, I think, just about as long as everybody else, trying to convince the world and the law.
In her own book, she admitted to it. She admitted to all this shit, and she goes, "Oh, you got it wrong, guys."
That I should be arrested. She spent hundreds of
Yeah,
dollars
she should
getting
be.
court documents that only proved I was innocent because they're court documents of somebody else's trial.
Yeah, because you got a deal and you testified against him. It says you were involved because of that.
They tried very desperately to use my actions as the witness in the case.
The witness! You witnessed it because you were there for the whole thing.
Prove that I actually committed the crime and just got away with it for No
Again,
reason.
Because she testified against her accomplice, and she got away from it. Because she's a terrible, terrible person. She made up a story about how she was a victim in the whole thing. It's bullshit.
That they can explain, since everybody hates me. So it's not like I'm a likable person that could just easily get away with murder.
You did. You wrote a book on it.
It was like an entire...
She wrote a book about it, and she sold one copy to Adonis Paul.
entire year of her saying, oh, the next batch of documents is coming soon. They've been ordered. They've been paid for. You're going down. But she was never able to find that linchpin that she really needed. It's frustrating. It's eternally frustrating to be accused of a crime you know you didn't commit.
Well, you shouldn't have written a book detailing your participation in the crime if you didn't want the world to think that you were a participant in the crime.
But can't prove because it was so long ago. And I don't have any of the evidence. They have money
that's even
to
better.
buy the
That's
court
even better.
documents. They have money to do all of this, to go through the records. I can't do anything but tell my side again and again and hope that people will listen and believe it. Which is hard to do when other people are throwing up documents saying, she's lying, this is proof. But there was nothing in those documents that proved anything.
There's a lot.
So, she's gone?
Look, the police from wherever not wanting to open up a fucking 30-year-old murder that was already, like, someone else already got thrown in jail for because she testified again. That doesn't mean she's innocent. It's the same thing as, like, just because Cyrax isn't in jail right now doesn't mean he's innocent. These locals don't understand that key point. That just because you're not in jail, just because they're not currently bringing charges on you, doesn't mean you're innocent.
I am thankful. I had something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. That's 2 down, because there was one that died a couple of years back. There's at least 2 more. Because Adonis Paul is never going to stop. And my Aunt Kathy is probably never going to stop.
Oh my god. I wish I could hear Adonis Paul's reaction when the 2 people she named was Adonis Paul and her Aunt Kathy. That's just got to tickle Adonis Paul. Just tickle him. Just where it's perfect.
The other channels, I don't know. Daywave, I think, has backed off.
Daywave.
And, I think maybe 2 of the channels have died. Like, the people actually physically died.
I don't think so. What, did you kill them? Murderer?
Fortunately, many of the people that run the channels that target and harass people like me, they're sick themselves. So some of the people that were targeting me, they had like cancer and they just died on their own volition a couple of years ago.
They got cancer and they died of their own volition. Well, I got cancer. I'm dead. See ya.
But Original Owl has apparently stepped away. I might come back one day.
She says in a video.
If it becomes a place where I am safe to
never gonna be
exist
safe
again.
Yeah, I bet he will. I bet he will.
I will be back. That's why my goodbye video was only a goodbye for now. Because I know that bullies don't stick around forever.
And lolcows never go away. Lolcows never go away. They're just waiting for their chance to come back.
Eventually, bullies move on. They either grow up or they find another target. When I left, a lot of their income dried up because they were making a lot of money targeting me. If I stay gone long enough,
yeah, she will be.
They might
she will
grow
be.
up and get actual jobs and not need to target people on YouTube anymore.
Why don't you get a job, Adrasdea? Why don't you get a job? It's been years you refuse to get a job.
And wouldn't that be something we could all be thankful for?
Stupid end of the video. Stupid end from a stupid woman. Anyways, Adrasdea is back for a moment. She'll be back at some point. They always come back. They always come back. They can never stay away. There's the lol cow. Well, it's the blessing or the curse, depending on if you're the lol cow or not. But anyways, that's all I got for today, guys. As always, I appreciate y'all coming by. I will catch you guys at the next one, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
This is the only response video that you are getting. After this, I'm going back to ignoring you. I'm going back to blocking you. I'm going back to not paying attention to you.
Oh, no, you don't, Chris. You're not getting away that easy.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all for your support.